I'm a simple man. I shake twice after I tinkle, and I like to look up at the vastness of space and realize how utterly insignificant we all are in the grand scheme of things. But ever since I can remember, I've been fascinated by the topic of space. Even back when I was eating the erasers off of pencils and drawing penises in every one of my school textbooks, learning about space was the only thing that didn't bore me to death in school. Learning about all those planets and stars and universes just gave me this very odd feeling. It was a very similar sensation to when I looked at pictures of Kate Upton, just this real odd tingling down in my loins. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time, but looking back on it now, it's probably just because I'm really into large circular objects. But to keep talking about my love for large spherical objects, today I kinda wanted to put together a montage of sorts. Think of it as a Black Ops 2 FaZe Clan trickshotting montage, but for space media. Just images and videos of space that I personally find to be the best of the best. Just some stuff we can look at and go, ooh, and ah, and that's cool. Because that's pretty much my space knowledge. It hasn't evolved much since I was looking at those 4th grade textbooks. I don't know the scientific background behind everything, but I like to look at it because it's very cool. I just like to reap the rewards of everybody else's hard work when it comes to space. So let's go ahead and start looking at the beautiful yet horrificness of space. So let's go ahead and start off with the clearest image of the surface of Venus from the Soviet Venera 13 in 1982. So this is the piss planet known as Venus, but just to show you how much of an amazing scientific feat this is, I want to scroll down to the comments and read the specifics of this mission. So the flight time to get to Venus was 4 months, and then the duration of this mission was just over 2 hours long, 127 minutes, and after it landed, this is the most insane part of it all. The temperature on Venus when this image was taken was 855 degrees Fahrenheit or 457 degrees Celsius for those losers who aren't in America, and the pressure was 9.0 MPa. I don't really know what that means, but the temperature is what I'm freaking out about because this is 855 degrees Fahrenheit, which means the reason this only lasted for 2 hours was because the whole thing melted. It took these pictures and then died. I believe the mission, they only estimated that it would last for 30 minutes. They just wanted to get some images of Venus on its surface. And I'll say this is absolutely magnificent, especially for 1982. This is absolutely insane. Just, it looks so awesome to see the surface of Venus. It's just absolutely mind-boggling that the Soviets were able to pull something like this off, especially in 1982. If they did this today, it would still be a scientific feat because, to my knowledge, that's the only footage, the only on-ground footage that we have of Venus. And it's just insane to look at other planets' surfaces because they all eerily look similar to Earth because they're all just made out of a bunch of rocks and space debris formed into a ball. There is an obvious difference though, that being Earth has a livable atmosphere because we're in that perfect zone. We're not too close to the sun, but we're not too far away. And just to make you feel a bit more existential, if we do happen to move a bit towards the sun or a bit away from the sun, we're all going to die. Just wanted to let you know. But there is still a downside to living on Earth, and that is we're stuck on the same floating space rock as Twitter goblins. At least on these planets, they don't have anything like that, so kudos to them. But now moving on to another planet in our solar system, Mars. This is some footage that a NASA rover captured of the surface of Mars. And once again, looks pretty similar to Earth, just a bunch of rocky surface area, mountains, some flat ground. Even, going back to the history, they've detected like spots where water used to be on Mars, so they think Mars may be very similar to what Earth is, but they've went through their world-ending devastation already, and we're only working towards that with climate change and whatnot right now. But it's always absolutely amazing to see the surface of other planets. I really wish we'd see a little green fella pop out and go, "Hey guys!" That'd really put this video together, a little Martian living on Mars, but that's obviously not the case. It's just a vast empty land known as Mars, an unterraformed planet, devoid of life, only full of rocks. And there's also this neat little thing that they captured on Mars once again from a satellite. It's called the Face on Mars. I don't know the backstory or anything. I don't know what it really is, but it's just a neato little thing that us humans like to do. We like to see faces where there aren't really faces. Obviously, Mars doesn't have a face. That's not that's not someone's face sticking up from Mars either. It's just a little rock and crater formation that we think looks like a face. And now moving on to Jupiter, we're looking at the moons Europa and Io orbiting, captured by the Cassini space probe. And it's just really cool to look at this kind of stuff. You know, there's the big storm on Jupiter, obviously. The big eyeball, if you will. And just this shows how massive Jupiter is, really. The gas giant. This little tiny moon's rotating around it. Seeing all of this amazing stuff captured on satellites and probes and telescopes, most recently with the James Webb telescope as well as the Hubble telescope, and then you still have people on Earth who are stupid enough to believe that space is fake and that we live on a flat Earth and that nothing we're seeing here is real, just really puts into perspective how lucky you should be that you aren't that stupid. It's just hard to wrap your mind around someone becoming that brain dead. But anyways, let's go ahead and keep continuing on here. This is a picture from the surface of an asteroid, Ryugu, taken by the Japanese spacecraft Hayabusa 2. And this honestly just looks like the bottom of the sea, like a picture from the Marianas Trench. It looks like coral, but this is just a neat little picture that they took on an asteroid in space. And now obviously I had to show this because this is just an infamous picture at this point. You know, them on the moon in 1969, July 20th, a giant leap for humanity. They just planted the flag and now they're standing there looking at it. But I think, I've seen this before, if you zoom in here and you look at his face, I think this is Buzz Aldrin, right? If you enhance that, he's like looking over at you at the camera. He's not looking towards the Earth. He's like peeking over. I just thought that was a neat little Easter egg about the picture, but now we can move on. Everyone's already seen that. That's nothing new. This right here is a picture that Hubble captured, which it says is a vivid aura in Jupiter's atmosphere. Now, when I first seen this, it looks like a neat little hat that they might have bought from the item shop that's like of a galaxy. Or you could also look at this as like wizards dueling on the top of Jupiter, and maybe that's like an anime battle going on in front of our very eyes, but the reality is much more tame. It's just like I believe they said like an infrared or ultraviolet picture they took that they layered over top. Just some real scientific stuff, you know? I don't know really, but like I said, we're here to just ooh and awe and look how cool and magnificent these pictures really are. You even got that raging storm right there, the infamous thing that Jupiter's known for. This is a really cool picture. So now here on the right, we got the first picture that the James Webb telescope took, and then on the left was what like the first humans thought of space, you know, with the moon and then the sun and then a bunch of stars. And now this is a meme, obviously, how it started versus how it's going. And it's just insane how far we've progressed in just a short amount of time, relative to how long the Earth has been around. It's just crazy to look at this and think how far humanity has advanced in like a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand years at the most, from thinking this about space, and this is all we have when it comes to space, to now being able to look at all these galaxies and stars and planets that are millions and millions of light years away. And we're able to see their lot, how they looked millions and millions of years ago. It's just a spectacle to behold. What a time to be alive, you know? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane, and we can only get better from here, so, you know, there's only more to look forward to. Now, this is the last thing I wanted to look at here. It's obviously on r/space porn, because it's the first ever image of a black hole. This is another infamous image. It came out a little bit ago, about 3 years ago now, but this is just absolutely an amazing scientific feat. It's just a super cool thing to look at. The first ever image of a black hole. It started out with like what was it? An IMD, what is that? IBM. I was thinking IMDb for some reason. An IMB computer just making a formulation of what they thought a black hole looked like, to upgrading to like a NASA render of a black hole. And now we have the first ever real image of a black hole. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to show you when it comes to space, the galaxy, our solar system, and just the universe in general. All the cool, neat, and interesting things that I found scouring the internet, compiling all this stuff up for the video. It's just some of my favorite moments of the discoveries that humanity have made throughout our, our evolution. And I'm only excited to see where it goes from here. So thanks for looking at this space porn with me, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.